Hello again everybody, and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. As you can see by the many colors going off into the distance that we have another team match here, another 4v4, and this is full of high OS players that you've definitely seen before in the 1v1 scene, playing some small teams. So let's have a look at what we have. So we have what map is it? That's the first thing. Hera Planum. This map was actually played in the recent Contributor Cup, and actually organized by Akumar, who is one of the players on the team right here. So the yellow player is actually Jadem. They've changed their name quite a bit, and they're playing Armada. We have, we're just going to call them Boob in orange, who used to be someone called Be Quiet. Bacon we saw in the last team match we had, and then Autopilot at the top, who of course needs no introduction. Across the opposite side, Akumar is the blue player, and that's the player who's in the camera over here. We're following the two top OS players in the cameras, with JTL, Puck, and finally Raxel in the bottom. So some big names in this match, so we'll see how well they do. We can already see Jadem sending scouts out on the way across. Being this how big a map this is, there is so much room for like options to start, because it's obviously an 8v8 map, but instead playing it as a 4v4 means there's a lot of metal to be had, which is also why most of the players here are actually starting with vehicles. Now, straight off, we may see some value here as this constructor's going up here as the scouts sneak by. Scouts haven't actually seen the constructor though, which is good for Raxel. Puck going to intercept the scouts as well. There we go. Akumar getting the higher value spot over here, getting 2 extra sets of triple mexes. So Akumar looking to basically be the carry for his team here. Whereas on the opposite side here, Autopilot has just this spot here, with Bacon taking this spot. So it does look like it's being split more evenly on the red side of the map, as we're going to see that JTL here will be having less metal than the rest of his team in order to give Akumar a bit more oomph. And these scouts from Jadem are causing some problems for Raxel. Raxel also no, he stopped. I was going to say Raxel almost self-destructed his entire scout force there. Now, we're not calling the yellow player by their name because they literally changed it 2 days after this replay. So clearly it wasn't what they wanted to keep long term, so we'll just call them by the name that you guys know them by. And the same with what we would do with people like X Factor and stuff. But so far, the lines are just starting to get drawn. We see Raxel attempting some aggression with this scouts, but it's going to run into the commander and not really get much. Meanwhile, in the middle, Puck going against Bob and Bacon here. In his position, he does end up kind of against 2 people, but the biggest thing is this over here. Akumar versus Autopilot. Remember, Autopilot is going to be at a metal deficit this entire fight. So, in theory, over time, Akumar should beat Autopilot. But basically, the rest of the team have to hold out until then. JTL should be facing Bacon, with Huck facing Boob, but so far Well, technically that is happening. Boob's units are all the way up here, even if Bacon's commander is in the center. We've moved down here for a minute because this is where some action is taking place, just purely because both Akumar and Autopilot being a bit passive now at the moment. Raxel looks like he's going to lose a construction vehicle here. Rest of the scouts look like they're going to get mopped up, but still that's a loss that Raxel did not need. Yeah. Those scouts are going to try and find a hole, but with LLTs there already, ain't going to do much. They will manage to escape because I don't think the ballistas will be able to catch up. But how are we looking elsewhere on the line? Jaden building a beamer to counter the units of Raxel. And as we go up past the front line here, Boob is building a vehicle factory on the front. Meanwhile, Huck is just kind of building a bit of a defensive line. JTL's got a couple of Centurions delaying Bacon from pushing forward. And Autopilot is building a wall to stop any further harass. He is actually ceding control of the low ground here. He's building a wall to stop any further aggression. Might be leaving a slight gap maybe and still planning going down there, but that's 3 metal extractors that he could really do with. Datum did manage to get quite far in, but running into a Janus pretty much ends this raid after getting a single metal extractor and some obviously scouts and such, but still most of the action really taking place in the center here. Huck looking to maybe get a D gun on that pounder if possible. Autopilot and Akumar's commander is very close to each other. Both players have twin guards. Maybe we'll see a HLT going up in order to remove the twin guard, but it's a lot of metal to spend otherwise. Shurikens coming out from Boob here. Janice's only 3 of them so far. Not enough to really threaten a commander, but enough to just push him back at least. I'm presuming we're going to see someone on blue team go air, but as of at this moment, not a single aircraft. And these shurikens just completely shut down Huck's production. This factory has actually been EMP'd. There we go. Some friendly AA from Raxel making its appearance. Akumar has gone Tech 2.
Commander destroyed.
Oh, we missed that. The Janices did seem to end up getting the commander of Boobs, sorry. Sheldon's also out from Autopilot. We can see they're attempting to try and make a hole in the wall up here. But Autopilot's commander's already there, ready for a D-gun. It'll be a bit risky to do that. Akumar getting Tech 2 before... No, sorry. After Autopilot is interesting considering he had more metal. It should have been the other way around, but Akumar actually almost trapping himself there by building a wall. JTL pushing into Bacon Dude here as well. Bacon Dude also with Tech 2. Bedbug came out, did quite significant damage, but JTL losing pretty much his entire force here, having to back out those Centurions. They're not going to be able to push further. Not enough damage to take out the twin guard. And that's not looking good. But what's not looking good as well is for Akumar right now, as the Sheldons are starting to get more and more. And there's a big force of grunts here with some fiends mixed in that are going to cause Akumar some problems. Akumar's starting to get his own Sheldons out. But he is prioritizing the AGO here. JTL, very ballsy position of Tech 2 factory at the front, considering he's somewhat fallen behind. Huck also getting hit by Tech 2 now on the front. And meanwhile at the bottom, Jadam so far winning out versus Raxel. Raxel has gone Tech 2 and Jadam only just getting to Tech 2 himself. Raxel was attempting to have the Janus shoot some shots into friendly units there, but it didn't play out. Raxel now with no forces left really to defend against this stuff coming. A single bull and one Janus is all that's going to be there to stop this continued push through, as well as a single LLT. Huck looks like he's going to have to fall back though as we zoom along the front line here. Akumar now back on the attack with his own Sheldons. Not only that, but with some Fiends mixed in. Tech 2 Instructor is making its way to the front. Surprising that it's gone that way around, purely just to get this AGO up so he doesn't have to build any energy. EMP goes off with a bedbug soon to follow. Does manage still to take out most of the army. Don't forget, Fiends do explode with a self-destruct option as well and do significant amount of damage. Akumar's comm could be in danger here if he's not careful. I heard a fat boy. Fat boy from JTL. If anything, Akumar could maybe do with that himself, but going for spy bots here. I think Akumar does have the advantage when it comes to the quantity of Sheldons. He's also the first one to get a radar. No, they both have radar jammers, but it's just not as positioned as well. And a Persecutor going up on the front line very quickly here from Akumar. This is a great position because not only does it hit Autopilot, but it's also going to hit Bacon Dude, which Bacon Dude could really not do with that right now, as JTL's Fat Boy is causing some micro that he doesn't have the APM for right now. Let's go a quick check elsewhere. Huck has been forced back a bit. Looks like the building of the Tech 2 factory in the low ground was cancelled and moved further back. But with Mausers on the front line, we'll maybe able to see some different fighting. Raxel and Jadam here, a very, very kind of slow, methodical fighting. Raxel is losing ground though with only Mausers here against Bulls. The Bulls are tearing the Mausers to shreds as they retreat. Some Bulls now making their way forward, but not until he's already lost quite a few. And now it's 2 Bulls versus 1. Raxel having to help and assist his... Oh no, he's not even repairing it. Okay. So Jadam should have economy advantage now on this bottom flank. He's already got a fusion up as opposed to Raxel, which just doesn't have anything. Meanwhile, the fight on the top, there was a good EMP, which has taken out most of the assisting forces of Autopilot. This single Persecutor again helping out. Ooh, almost took out the radar jammer. A counter-intrusion system going up for Akumar, as we can see the dots here showing where the spy bots are. Really underused building, really, when you think about it. Especially in this more high-level player where you're seeing spy bots so much more. JTL's comm at 55% health needs to be a bit careful. Ops is actually pretty good versus these slow-moving units. Especially the Fat Boy, which is just gonna be really slow and not really able to move out the way. There is a bit of a dangerous hole here. There's a couple of LLTs there, but it's dangerous to think what could go down in that direction. Boob here building a pretty forward located nuke, actually, just due to that's where the build power is. We do see an anti-nuke up from Akumar, but the rest of the team yet to have it, and Boob is looking a bit short on units here. JTL and Huck could make the most of that and push in. Actually eating of the Tech 2 factory here in order to get the nuke built quicker. What is Akumar building? Why is Akumar starting to lose ground? Akumar is starting to lose ground because he switched to air. He's eaten his Tech 2 factory and is AFIS scaling. So unit numbers have started adding up. Shurikens doing their work. Quite enough shurikens, but enough to deal with some of this frontline stuff. Persecutor is almost dead. One last rocket flies in. Oh, Akumar managing to eat the Persecutor just before that last missile ends. Very, very well played. All shurikens, though, were destroyed, leaving the Sumos to march ever forward. And JTL here not really able to fight Bacon Dude here, and is having to have Huck try and assist. But this has left Boob here to just line up, build a nuke, and is now building Fiends from a Twitcher in order to buy time. Oh! Sneaky stealthy tanks in the back line here. Managed to somehow sneak it past. The question is, well, what are they going to go for? Is it going to be the AGO, or are they hoping the snipe and anti-nuke? Want to kind of keep an eye on them on the mini-map. See where they go. Starlights are going to prove a problem for Raxel as he pushes further forward. Scouts being prepared here from Boob as a attempt to see who has anti-nuke and who doesn't. We are at the 18-minute mark, so should be a warning for anti-nukes at this point. The left team don't have a single one, though, bear in mind. And considering Akumar has a significant metal advantage, he's not been able to break through Autopilot. Pilot done extremely well to hold Akumar at bay for such a long period of time. Akumar, though, is, you know, he's scaling instead. Stealth tanks get detected. There goes the AGO. Desperately trying to eat them up before they get to the converters. Where are they going? JTL combining forces with Akumar on the top here to try and push in some more, but just this hesitation with the forces. The Arbiters doing tremendous work. To be honest with you, I would kind of expect some T3 from Akumar soon. We actually have tier 3 already out from Bacon with a catapult and a long-range ballista coming in. Nuke is launched. And say goodbye to Huck's base as the anti-nuke has not been built anywhere near in time. And not only that, it actually took out
Commander
a decent
destroyed
chunk of Raxel's base as well. And Raxel is not much longer for this world. The Starlight's just causing too much of a problem. Akumar makes a play with a bunch of bombers, gets the AGO. But there's still all of this economy in the back line here. Technically, Akumar does have a lot more. He's got 2 AGOs right now. And needs to be able to do something to change this game. These forces are just going to make their way up if he's not careful. JTL taking over what's left of Huck. Fat Boy getting surrounded at the top, and I mean, all you can say really is well played, Autopilot, for holding off Akumar. Akumar kind of maybe went a bit greedy and scaled up quite a bit of energy here, building his 3rd APHIS whilst the entirety of the bottom of the map has fallen. Long range plasma cannon comes in, hits the energy converters, and now all of that energy production is for nothing because you can't convert it. Now probably going for build power. No, going to hit the APHISes again. Akumar desperately trying to get a shield up in time. Shield does go up before the next shot lands. But with Bacon Dude pushing out Tech 3, a lot of Tech 2 from Autopilot here. The bottom of the map has completely crumpled. Akumar does not want to give up. He does have the economy advantage. Well, as an individual player, not versus their entire team, though. Jaden, though, has also gone Tech 3 at this point. He could have actually pushed up quicker here, but instead taking his time. And Akumar has actually taken everything as JTL has resigned, and now it is Akumar versus everyone. Now this spy tank is desperately trying to get to that anti-nuke, but does not manage to do it. Okay, Akumar. You got a 1v4. Akumar Gaming, yep. It's gonna be really hard for Akumar to win this, to be honest with you. I don't see him being able to do it. He's to be fair, not giving up. Fair play, you know, like he's about to lose this AGO though, and with it the units that are stood right next to it. He has no way of stopping the harass from the sides. Some Tech 1 units heading over there, but he kind of needs to make a push. He needs to do something right now to try and even the odds. Oh, the Shiva block managed to stop the AGO going off. But here come the Razorbacks. Akumar looks like he's going to get a tremendous D-gun here if he's paying attention to it. Akumar, the commander. Hey. There goes the AGO finally. Akumar's commander here. Yep,
destroyed.
Goes poop. Mass amount of Shivas. So you would argue like he could go this way, right? Yes, but if he does that with all of these, all of these units are just going to push straight in. So he needs to be careful. These Razorbacks coming in from the bottom, though, are definitely causing him some problems. And getting that build power is going to be a huge loss for Akumar. And Akumar actually calls the GG there. Very well played. Jaden did extremely well versus Raxel there. And I would argue that can't remember exactly who was against Boop here, but they really needed to apply more pressure to them rather than trying to fight Bacon in this little trench, because if they would have taken out Boob, they could have fired on him from the top of this trench and just taken out with somewhat ease. But no, instead both players focused on this one choke point, which was being very, very well defended by Bacon. So GG's, well played everyone. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to do all the YouTube malarkey, and I'll see you all next time.